All right, so now we're moving on to the services page. So just to show you what it's going to look like, it's going to have the same page header as about. And here we're going to have basically different service plans. So you'll see this a lot on like web hosting websites, things like that, template sites, subscription websites really. And these are going to be cards with headers and footers along with list groups. And then down here we'll have frequently asked questions, which will be little accordions. Okay, so that'll be the services page. So let's go to VS Code. Let me just actually take this off screen. And we want to copy everything in about, not index. We want to copy about because about is much smaller and it's much more similar to what services is. So let's copy that, and then we'll create a new file called, not in the CSS folder. We want to create services.html, and we'll paste this in. And we want to get rid of some stuff. So we're not using the slick slider, so we can get rid of this piece of JavaScript right here. We can get rid of the script tag to slick slider or slick carousel. We want to go up to the top and get rid of the CSS for slick and for slick theme. So these two link references here. Okay, because we don't want to include stuff that we don't need. And then let's move the active class from the about in the nav bar to services. And then we're going to keep the page header, but we'll change the H1 to, let's just say, our services. Okay, that's all we have to change there. And then we can just get rid of the whole about section. We can get rid of the icon boxes, and we can get rid of the testimonials. And we'll keep the footer. Okay, so all we should have right now is the page header and the footer. If I save that and we go to our theme here and we click on services, it should look like this. So kind of a blank boilerplate. Now in our services section, let's go ahead and add that. So services section. So this is going to be like that row of cards. So let's say section ID services with a class of py-5, padding on the top and bottom. Container, and let's do a row, and we're going to have 3 4-column divs on medium-sized screens and up. So call MD4, and we'll do times 3. So this is where we want our card, which is going to have a header, it's going to have a footer, it's going to have a list group. So it's going to have a lot of stuff. So let's do a card. We want everything to be centered. So text center. Inside here, we're going to have our card header. And I want this to have a dark background. So we'll say BG dark, and let's make the text white. So this is our header. We'll put an H3 in here, and we'll say service plan 1. And that's it for the header. And then under the div, we're going to put our card body. And in this card body, we'll have an H4 with the class of card title. And we're just going to say here the price, which will be $59.99 per month. For what? I have no clue, but it's for something. And then under the H4, while still in the card body, of course, we want a paragraph, and I'm just going to say card text. And let's do lorem 10 tab. And then under the paragraph is where we're going to have our list group, which would be like the features of the package or whatever. So we'll do a UL with the class of list group. And inside here, we're going to have list group LIs with the class of list group item. And I want to have the features, so we'll say like feature 1, but I want a check box or just a check icon to the left of it. So let's do an I with the class of FAS and FA-check. I believe that should work. And then we want a couple of these, so I'm going to copy this LI. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to change this to 2. And we'll change this one to 3. And 4. And 5. Let's just fix this right here. Okay, so that's our list group. And then right under the UL, we're going to have an A tag formatted as a button. So let's do a red button. So we'll say BTN danger. Let's also make it a block so it goes all the way across. So BTN block. And I'm also going to do a margin top 2 to kind of push the UL above it up. All right, and then this is just going to go nowhere. And then in the A tag, we're just going to say, we'll say get it. Okay, and then underneath the card body, which ends at this div, we want to put the footer. So it'll be card dash footer. And then I want to have the text a little lighter, so I'm going to do text muted. And then in here, I'm going to say this is the 1-year plan. Okay, so that should be the first one. Now, they're all going to be pretty similar, so I'm going to copy everything that's in the call MD4, which ends here. So I'm going to grab everything inside of it and put that in the next one. So we'll paste that in. We'll change this to Service Plan 2. And let's change the price to $9.99 per month. We'll just keep all this stuff, the features and so on. And then we can keep this. Yeah, so we can keep the rest. So it's pretty identical. Paste it in this last one as well. And this price will be, let's say, $129. And then the rest should be the same. Oh, we need to change this to 3. All right, so let's save that and take a look, see if we didn't mess anything up. All right, so that looks pretty good. So we have all the features, the pricing, the name of the plan. Oh, we want to change. Well, no, we can keep it at the 1-year plan. It's just different features. Yeah, so that looks good. All right, so let's work on the FAQ section, which is going to be, they're actually going to be, what are they called? Accordions. So let's go back. We'll go right under the section here. And let's say FAQ. So section with the ID of FAQ. I'm going to give it a class of P5. I want padding 5 all around. I want the background to be dark and the text to be white. Okay, and then we want our container to contain everything. And then let's do an H1 with the class of text center to move it to the middle. And we're just going to say frequently asked questions. Okay, so frequently asked questions. And then I'm just going to put a horizontal rule here, just to put a line. And under that, we'll put our row. And then we're going to have 2 6-column divs. And each 6-column div will have an accordion. So let's do call MD6. And we want 2 of these. So in this first one here, let's put a div with the ID of accordion. And let's put a card. Okay, so this is formatted just like any other accordion that we've been doing. It's going to have a card header. And let's give this, actually, no, that would be fine, card header. And inside the card header div, we want an H5. And I'm going to give it a class of MB0, so margin bottom 0. And inside here, we want an A tag. And we want a couple attributes. The href is going to go to collapse 1. Okay, and then we want data collapse. So data dash toggle, and then the value is collapse. And then we want a parent, since this is accordion, we want a data parent, which is going to be set to accordion. Okay, and then inside the A tag itself for the text, we're just going to say question 1. Now we need basically the answer or the body, so it's going to go under the card header, which ends right here. And let's put a div with the ID of collapse 1. And also a class of collapse. Like that. All right, and then inside here we'll have our card body. And I'm just going to say lorem, let's Let's do Lorem 40. That should be good. So that's the first one. And then basically what we want to do here is just copy the card. So this ends right here, the card div inside the accordion. And we're going to do one. Actually, we'll just do one and just change some things. So question 2, we want this to go to collapse 2. And then change this to collapse 2. And that should do it. Now we want to go under this card and put one more here. And this will be collapse 3. We'll say question 3. And we'll change this to collapse 3. Like that. So let's see what this actually looks like right now. Okay, so all right, so now this is fine. I know it's white and we can't even see the text, but it's fine for now. So I'm just going to leave it. And we want to do the other side. So in the other 6-column div, we want we want 3 cards as well. And the accordion, I should say. So basically we want, see how this 6-column div, which ends here, we want everything within it, which is the whole, the div with the ID of accordion. And we're going to put that in this next one and paste that in. Okay, but for this one, we want to change, this should be collapse 4 because we left off at 3. And this will be question 4. And we want to change this to collapse 4. Okay, next one will be question 5. This will be collapse 5. This will be collapse 5. And then this last one will be question 6. This will be collapse 6. Collapse 6. Okay, so if I save this, now we should have 3 on each side, which is good. That's what we want. Now I'm going to change the coloring with our custom CSS. So let's head over to style.css. And let's go below the about image and let's add the ID of FAQ and then the card inside FAQ. So I want this to have a border of, just a border all around of 444. Okay, so that's the card itself. Now the FAQ links should be white. So we want to say color white. And take away the underline, so text decoration none. Okay, and then we want the background of the body, the card body, and the card header to be dark, to be that 333 color. So let's say FAQ card body, as well as FAQ.card header. And we want this to be a background of 333. So let's save that, take a look, and there we go. So that looks pretty good. You can see the text. Awesome. So that's going to be it for our services page. In the next video, we're going to get into the blog.